Hello and welcome to our second episode of Community Building with Brett here at Cowork Collective. Today we're interviewing Jami Lynn Larimore with the iconic Jami Lynns here in Monette, Missouri. If you've never ordered from Jami Lynns or had a take-home meal from Jami Lynns, you are missing out. I have the owner, the founder, the brains behind the brand, Jami Lynns, sitting here right with me on this couch. And we are going to be asking her about her story and how she uses her business, Jami Lynns, and how she uses her love of cooking to build community with family and friends and bringing people together. So, Thank you, Jami.
Thank you for having me, Brett.
Absolutely. So, we've been talking off camera how I wanted to introduce Jami, but I think that this is going to be a collaborative effort.
He's very scared about what I'm going to say. And if you know me, he has a right to be.
Oh boy. Yeah, we're not scared at all. She thinks I'm going to edit this, but I'm not. It's going to go full force here. Okay. So, Jami, tell us first. You were born in Monette.
I actually was. I was born in Monette way back when.
Yep.
We don't really have to talk about age.
Nope.
I'm under 50.
There you go.
So back in the 70s, I was born here in Monette.
Okay. And then your dad was a pastor.
My dad was actually a youth pastor. My parents were very young when I was born. So actually, my mom and dad were still high school students at Pierce City. So my dad graduated. He graduated. He lived here his whole life. Kripkas, Doug and Tammy, and they both graduated from Pierce City. But after I was born, my dad was called into the ministry and became a youth pastor and moved us to Appleton City.
Oh, wow.
Stayed there a short time. Then we grew up in Warsaw. So Warsaw is actually where I spent the majority of my childhood.
Which was a fact for me because I know that the Gripka family is a Pierce City-based family. That's a big name in Pierce City, last name in Pierce City.
Well, and I'm also, most people will say, are you a Gripka? But because you have dark eyes and you're darker complected, you must be a Bowman. And that is the truth. So, I mean, like, I'm half Gripka and half Bowman, but most people recognize the Bowman versus the Gripka.
Yeah.
I guess their features are a little stronger.
Now, she actually, even though she grew up in Warsaw, it is an important fact here that Jami graduated from East Newton High School.
Yeah, and Brett wants to sing the song, the graduation song. Do you know it?
I don't, but I think you might. And you said you wanted to sing it.
Only invested 2 years into the Patriots, so unfortunately.
They were the best 2 years of her life, too, by the way.
They were some good years. Yeah.
Okay, then after that, you went to after that, you went to Crowder College.
A home of the Rough Riders, yes. Woo-hoo. I actually went to Crowder. I did actually have my first son was born in my first semester of college, so that made college a little bit tough. I originally went into life thinking because I loved music so much that I would go in and be a music teacher. And I was pretty good at it, and so I went in, but then I realized I really don't like kids that much to be around them all the time. I like your kids that eat with me, just don't want to spend 24 hours a day and make that my whole job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so being a very young mom, trying to go to school, trying to work, the bottom line is that I realized that you
love kids, you just don't want to be with them all the time.
Being a teacher was, you know what, here's the bottom line, and I'm kind of, I don't know if I should put this out there, maybe he won't watch it, but I'm kind of, going through this with my middle son. Although I think it is always great to better yourself, college is not for everyone. It's just not. And for me, I love music, but loving music and being a music teacher were two totally different things. And so I decided to just proceed with my life. So I moved to South Carolina when I was 20 with my son. I quit school at that time. I did make it 2 years. I just want to say I made it 2 years. I didn't really learn much. I had a good time. I was in some pretty awesome theatrical plays. The Crucible, Nonsense. I rocked Sister Hubert in Nonsense. But I moved to South Carolina and started just a whole new life. Like I took Seth, that's my oldest son. I took Seth and we went, and I actually worked as a counselor in a girls' home. But that's okay, because even though I love to help people, like that is my passion, which I think is why maybe I love the food industry so much. I'm gonna take over your interview, because once I start talking, you're gonna have to say, stop, I have another question.
Okay.
And this won't be a 30-minute interview because I'm gonna hurry. But I was a counselor for a little bit. I substituted teaches. Edit that.
You substitute taught.
Thank you. Met the love of my life, married him, had 2 more children, then just kind of decided, never in the food industry at this point, just living life.
And this was in 03.
This was
married
from
him.
03, 2002. Married Bryant in 2002.
Okay.
He had always lived in South Carolina. We had our children. He wanted something different. And I always remembered Pierce City being like, leave it to Beaver. Like it was the best place to be. And I saw that a house had come open right across from my grandparents on Spruce Street. And I thought, I'm going to do it. And I mentioned it to Bryant. Well, Bryant had never lived out of South Carolina, so he jumped on board. I tried to change my mind in the last few minutes, but we moved. And we came down here with the vision, actually. I worked at the time for Alto. I was a district manager for a cell phone company in South Carolina. And we moved here actually planning on buying this little corner building down here and opening a bilingual Alto store.
Oh, nice.
I don't speak Spanish. I was going to hire Will. And I was actually approved for it. It was all good. I started to make that route, and God said, hold on a minute. And I don't know where you are with God, but when he talks, I listen. Period.
Absolutely.
So God said, hold on a minute. And I said, what do you mean, hold on a minute? And so I decided to go work for the Altel store here for a few months while this was working. And in that time, Verizon bought Altel and it became a whole mess. And I'm not a fan.
There's a whole story behind that.
Whole story behind it. Doesn't relate to Jami Lynns. But either way, got out of that and decided at that point, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do what I love. And I've always loved cooking. I've always loved doing that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to open a restaurant. And I have never had any training. I'm not very good at it, to be honest with you. I just knew that I love people and I love food. And I've always been pretty heavy. Obviously, if you're watching this video and you say, who is that? Yes, I've lost 130 pounds in the last couple of years. No, I didn't do it on purpose. I got sick with COVID. Yay me, I had a long-term side effect that caused me to lose weight. So if you were one of the people out there wondering if I had the surgery or what happened, I just got sick. Yay. Okay. Now I don't have to answer. Maybe I won't have to answer that question.
A ton of hours.
Yeah, but that's never mattered. I've always been 270 to 300 pounds. Yeah, I said it. Okay. Do the math. I'm not there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, opened the steakhouse, total failure, but I held on. We started out on Highway 60 where Napa's at. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
I did.
But now how many years were you there?
We started in 2012. We actually stayed there for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, again, never had any training, didn't know what I was doing, shouldn't have been doing it, but I did. And I loved it. And you know what? I met so many cool people, and I learned how to cook, because everything I know is from my mama. I mean, that's like, I don't know, like what, watching YouTube videos to get fancy with it. But other than that, you taste it and you make it, And so, but that is an awesome start, because had I not have started there, I wouldn't have got Casey Joe. So back 2013, Casey comes along, or actually 14. Casey came along in 14 as a server, and she's kind of just stayed with me the whole time. Things got tough. I knew we had to do something different. Started praying, You want to hear a cool story? I think people will want to hear a cool
Yeah.
story. Started praying about, God, what do you want me to do? This is bad. I know I owe the government way too much money because I wasn't very good at it. Loved doing it. Wasn't very good at it. Thank you, Darren Newbold. Can I say that? Thank you, Darren Newbold, for not closing me down. I had a lot of good people that some reason, don't know why, but when I shouldn't have made it, somebody believed in me. And honestly, if I give Darren credit, he's the one who rented me that building out there through the bank, and he shouldn't have. And and I'm talking negative accounts. They were negative, like super negative, and he kept me afloat. He just kept he kept me open. I don't know how he did it, but he did. And I just would like to say everyone's been paid back. I also want to say that.
Yeah.
Went to Broadway, started praying. I said, God, if you're going to speak to me, speak loudly to me so that I know it's your voice and not mine, right? Because so many times we ask for guidance and then we decide what's best for us and then we just do that. But that's not always the case. But anyway, so I was driving down and all of a sudden next to the Black Kettle building, there was a huge sign, not a little sign, like a 12-foot homemade board that has never been there before that said for rent. And I said, well, here's your sign. I called it, and a week later, I took over the Black Kettle, and even though I loved that, I knew it was still just not great. It was better, but not great. And my friend LaDonna McVeigh, actually, you made a comment that said the brains behind Jami Lynns. I am not the brains behind Jami Lynns. I am the name behind Jami Lynns. But my friend LaDonna McVeigh was talking to me one day, and she actually had the idea.
There's a photographer here in town.
Yes, the best photographer, actually. She's getting ready to do my son's senior pictures. Today was his first day of his senior year. Nice. Anyway, bottom line is, didn't work. LaDonna gave me the idea. In a day, I found the old Stell's liquor store. I thought, we can make this happen. Can we do it? We did it, and God blessed it.
The rest is history. Here we are.
God blessed it with your help.
And that was 2019.
That was 2019. 4 months later, COVID hit. So, what did that do for Jami Lynns? Well,
I'm going to imagine
else was struggling.
I'm going to say it exploded.
When everybody else was, when I first started, I said, if I can feed 100 people a day, and I had it all planned out. If I can feed 100 people a day, then I can make this work. Well, we actually started about 70 to 100. We worked up to 100 pretty quick. And Casey and Casey Joe, whenever I decided to move, I knew I only needed one employee. Casey had been with me the longest. I said, sis, this is not going to be a serving job. This is going to be in the kitchen. But you've been with me the longest. Do you want to go with me? And she said, heck yeah. And so there has never been Jami Lynns without Casey Joe. And if I could change the name, I probably would, honestly. But she's okay with it just saying Jami Lynns. But yeah, so we started. We're up to about 400 meals a day at this point. We serve about 400 meals a day. We take on some pretty big jobs. Like tomorrow, we are feeding EFCO, which is they've ordered for 700 people. So we will feed EFCO tomorrow along with the community, and people will say, how in the world do you do that?
2 people feeding 700 at EFCO.
My husband does help.
Plus your regular 400 meals. 1,100 meals.
And people will say, how do you do that? And here's how you do it. You hire good people. You treat your workers right. You go into every opportunity knowing that this is a blessing. If I didn't love what I do, and I do, it's almost a joke. I mean, I almost think it's funny how I can come to work, call it work, make a really good living, work with my best friend, not even my best friend. People will say, who's your best friend? And my brother, to be honest, or my sister, but she is my person. She is my right hand. And she has made this business as successful as I have. And I asked for her to be here today, but she thinks she looks stupid. whenever she sits, because I have a hard time not leading the conversation. I'm sure you've noticed.
No, I love it.
No, you probably don't. But I do have a hard time not leading the conversation, which is why Casey runs the window. Because if I ran the window, then nobody would ever go through the line. Because I would want to know how your day went, and I would want to pray with you. And whenever Casey was gone last week, I appreciated the people who prayed with me, but like I'm sure the people behind us doesn't. Just because, although I love what I do, I truly love people.
Mm-hmm.
Like all kinds of people. I find them fascinating, and to be a part of this community
mm-hmm.
and to run Jami Lynns. I think it's funny that people say I'm the blessing because, were you telling me to shut up?
No.
He kicked my foot. Because this is my greatest blessing, and I'm living my dream.
Yeah. Hands
down.
That's amazing.
I know. Are you jealous of me? A little bit? Because I'm living my dream?
Yeah. The fact that you're living your dream.
Tammy is Tammy is back here too. She is Brett's helper. I think people should see you because you're super cute. I think you should come out and say, "Hey, I'm Tammy." No, she's not going to. Super cute. And yeah. Are you living your best life? Good. So that's what my brother and I say. So my brother, I'm going to plug, my brother opened up a little art emporium. Not a little. It's kind of a big deal down at Freedom Maze. And if you're
I saw you working in there last weekend.
Well, no, I don't ever work there.
You were there.
I hang out
You were there.
because it's a cool place.
Okay. Fair.
It's a super cool place.
You were carrying stuff, so I figured you were working.
I was carrying stuff out because I bought it. Oh. Yeah. They were Eagles, and they're cool.
Okay.
They're cool. But our thing is, we just say we're living our best life. Why wait? My mom just passed away.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Like a year and a half ago. And it was super traumatic and super painful. And I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But she was young. She was 63.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm not getting any younger. And I am not going to wait to live my best life.
Yeah.
Now, for me, luckily, that includes my job. Yeah. So, but people probably think, man, you went whitewater rafting this summer. You went skiing already. You went on a cruise. You took I took my grandkids to Disney World. Yes. And I'm going to continue to do all those things because I'm going to work hard and I'm going to play harder and I'm going to live my best life and I'm going to serve my community and I'm going to do it with a smile on my face. And then I'm going to go suck up the sun.
What I love about your story is how you find the joy in all the things, even when the first restaurant concept, Family Steakhouse,
horrible, failed.
Yeah, when it failed, but you look back on it as such a positive experience, and you're extremely grateful for that experience, and you're extremely grateful for the people that stayed with you on the journey, like you mentioned, Darren Newbold.
Yeah.
I think that is really cool, and how you took some lessons, and the next one was. Maybe we could describe when you took over the Black Kettle. It was a base hit. There were improvements, right?
So there were improvements. I did get lucky with the Black Kettle salad. So someone said, actually, if you want to know the truth, somebody came in, the owner's son or grandson or something, and said, true story. I might ad-lib a little bit because I have a hard time not doing that, but most of it is true. Came in and basically said, so glad you're here. This has been floating around. I want you to have it. And he gave me the recipe for the Black Kettle dressing. Everything else you can kind of figure out. You can look at a picture and realize kind of what it was. Is it the actual Black Kettle? No, because guess what? There's one Black Kettle and there's one Jami Lynns. And I will say a lot our version of the Black Kettle salad. I can never make the dressing or the salad the way that it was ever. I can do my best to recreate it. And it's not even the salad. It's kind of a very simple salad. It's the memory that comes with it. It's that back in the 70s, whenever you went to go eat at the Black Kettle, times were better. Life was better, to be honest. You didn't have all this fighting and all these differences. And when you went to the Black Kettle, you got a Black Kettle salad. And so now when people get a Black Kettle salad, it is not the salad. It is the memory that comes with it.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not kidding you. Every single month when I have chill bumps right now because the last one was a 9-year-old woman who called me, and this happens a lot. This is why I'm so blessed. Even last night, someone sent us a message and it said, "Girls," I won't say your name, you might hear this, but she said, "Girls, this was the best meal I've had since my mom died."
Mm-hmm.
And I've had another person a couple weeks ago, "I have not had fried potatoes like this since my grandma passed. These made me cry, made me think of her." I only cook home cooked meals. That's what I do. I learned from my mom. Unfortunately, life has got so busy for so many people that they don't remember what a home cooked meal tastes like. Mm-hmm. They just don't. Yep. And so sometimes when they have our chicken and dumplings, or when they have the ham and beans, or when I'm making fried chicken or something, that brings back a memory. Yeah, the food's good. It's good. But it's not so good that you're going to be like, "Oh, this was the best meal." It's so good that it brings back a memory of what family is and what home felt like. Does that make sense? And that's really, we do home cooked meals. Yes, we package them family style. And the idea, life is busy. You don't always have time to cook, and you definitely don't want to have to clean that mess up afterwards. Yep. Because come to my kitchen. My husband hates it. My husband cleans it up afterwards, and he hates it. But to be able to pick up something that's not fast food, that's cheaper than fast food, but it was something your grandma might have made, and you get to go home and sit down and eat it and not have to clean it up. Yep. Blessing for them, a memory, makes my world go around.
And you may not have had time to cook it and do the cleanup, but you always have time to make memories and spend time with your family.
Yeah.
And to talk about your day, unwind, and connect.
That was one commitment that my son made me this year. I told Jacob, I said, "Jake, listen, I know life's busy. He's playing football. He's a senior. He works at Rocco's." And, your competition. Nothing's competition. We all work together. I mean, that's the idea, right? There's thousands of people that live in this town. I don't need to compete with anybody. I just need to do my job. And, I'm loving that. I dig that. But, I said, "Jacob, find one day throughout the week. I know your life's busy. I know we don't do it all the time. Give me one day a week that we sit at our table and eat dinner." So I'm going to challenge you guys that. Life is busy. Yeah. I don't care if I make your dinner. Make a dinner. Sit down with your kids. Find out what they're doing. Find out what they're interested in. Ask them what their favorite color is. This is a time, dinner is a time to unwind. To just, even if it's just to say, "How was your day?" Or whatever. But, I think I've lost so much of that. And summer, oh my gosh, summer. But now my baby's a senior, and he's the last one. My granddaughter is, for all of you who follow me, know that my granddaughter is starting kindergarten tomorrow. How is this possible? I don't know. But life is good.
But it's going really fast for you.
It's going so fast for me.
And you have to remember those moments, and you have to remember to slow down.
Yeah.
And take time to connect with people, the people that you care about in your life, your family, of course, dear friends.
And I will
think that's why we're here.
That Jami Lynns does have plans to get bigger. Be honest with you.
Nice.
What? Yeah. I mean, I don't want.
Whoa, that's huge news. We just released huge news.
Start praying for it. I mean, it's no secret. I want to own the whole building. Yeah. I would love to asphalt the property, but I need to own it first. So I'm ready for that. I just need for them to sell it to me. Hint, hint. So just keep praying for us. Know that we're praying for our community. Are we going to wrap this up? Because I feel like I'm saying.
No, I have a question
good.
for you.
I'm sorry. I was getting ready to, how you wrap up something. I was getting ready to do that. I'm going to stop.
No.
Hold.
She doesn't get to wrap up.
Nothing.
I only get to wrap up.
Not wrapping up. Nothing.
Yep. So what do you think is unique about your industry or your business compared to other people in the food industry?
The waste.
Okay.
So having a restaurant in the past and having 60 items on your menu and knowing that you have to, Nothing is more aggravating, I'm going to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
than going to a restaurant, finding what you want, ordering it. Oh, we're out of that. Well, then don't put it on your stupid menu. Can I say stupid?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put it on your stupid menu. If you're out of it, don't put it on there.
Mm-hmm.
Or obviously you're carrying too much stuff. So the best thing about the worst thing for me is, when you lose a cooler and you have 60 items on your menu, well, you just lost about $7,000-8,000. That stinks. That happened to me multiple times. That just happens in the restaurant industry.
Mm-hmm.
But with my thing now is I go into every day knowing how many people I'm going to cook for. Mm-hmm. And people probably get aggravated when we say, oh, we're sold out. Well, yeah, I'm not an idiot. Mm-hmm. I don't want to throw a bunch of food away or try to sell it. So if we start our day with 200 orders, we might make 300. Mm-hmm. And then we will sell those 100 meals throughout the day. And then when we're done, we're done. Mm-hmm. So the best part about Jami Lynns is there's no waste. Mm-hmm. I don't have 14 things on my menu. I have one. Mm-hmm. And you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. And if you don't like it, don't eat it. Mm-hmm. Go somewhere else. Hey, there's like 9 or 10 other really good restaurants in town. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel like cooking, you got options. Now, if you want a really good home cooked meal that's really cheap and it's going to be great, then yeah, you go with me. But
yeah, absolutely.
What else?
Absolutely.
Was that a good answer?
Yeah, that was a good answer.
Thank you.
About the waste.
Could you rate my answer, please?
I would say 10 out of 10 because I didn't even think about the waste.
That was a lie, but that was a good. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so
I just needed that. I needed that assurance.
Being part of this community, you really have strong roots. You're actually even wearing Pier City colors right now.
Yeah. Go green.
Pier City green.
I love the Monette Cubs, but purple is my least favorite color. I'm sorry, but I am a proud supporter. I try to plug in when I can.
Yeah.
But I do bleed green.
Yeah.
And green is my favorite color.
But like being part of this niche community around here, even though you've moved and lived in different areas, how has being a part of this community, because you and your husband moved back here, influenced how you run your business and conduct business and the values that you hold for your business?
Ooh. Say the question again so I can think about it like a Bible verse. Go ahead.
How has you having strong roots to this community and you and your husband moving back to this community influenced how the community has affected your business and the values that you hold for your business?
So first of all, I come from a big family. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if you come from a big family like mine, our family doesn't just involve the 100 people that's in it. Matter of fact, I think that my aunt and your mama just went to Cancun or something crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Cabo. Los Cabos.
Los Cabos, yes. Yeah. So the thing is with my family, how has this affected me? My family's roots go very far. Mm-hmm. And their friends become family. Mm-hmm. And those people in the community become your family. And your roots grow, and those people want to see you succeed, right? Mm-hmm. So when they start pouring their love into you and they start, so how has having my family here helped my business? Because my family is this community. Yeah. I mean, one person jumps in, the rest jumps in. And then in turn, I think to grow that family, you have to do the same. Mm-hmm. When you have an opportunity to serve somebody else, that's when you jump in. Mm-hmm. And that's what grows your family, and that's what grows your business.
And speaking of family, I think you just posted on social media a couple days ago, your dad
Yesterday
had a handmade stirring stick made for you, and then it said, "Dad loves you," I think.
It says, "Jamie, I love you, Dad." And then he wrote it on the tag too, because apparently, the tattoos are a big deal. He said, "Here, I wrote this on a tag for you so you can get a tattoo." And I said, "I'm not putting that on my body, Dad."
A stirring stick.
I'm not. No, just that I love you.
Oh.
He wrote it on the tag so that I might get a tattoo, Dad. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Move on.
Okay, so the next thing is what you mentioned. Your mom and learning how to cook from your mother.
Yes.
And the impact that's played on your business and just home cooked meals and knowing how to cook. Not having, I guess, professional education,
right?
In that just you learned it just by doing it and being in your family. But what are, besides your mother, who are your other role models in your life, business, personal, that have contributed to your success?
role models. I come from a really strong line of strong women. Okay, so I mean, it takes one to know one kind of a thing. And so I think, like you look at my aunts, for instance, like Jennifer Brown. Jennifer Brown was named the physical therapist of the entire year for the entire. Did you know that?
No.
Oh yeah, it was a big deal. It happened a couple years ago. But my point is like, my mom, was the counselor, was a grant writer, was just very self-made. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I think we can start I think we can start a profession, but then we become self-made. Jennifer, anyone can be a physical therapist, but only one can be the best. Right? Yeah. Anybody can be a cook, but only one can be the best. Anybody can be a counselor or a grant writer. So I think, like, I don't really remember your question, but I know where I'm going with it. Oh. And it's just that, I would say all the strong women in my family, I really look up to Jen. I mean, like, because she's just the picture of kindness and everything I want to be, and she's a hard worker and she's an awesome mom, and I'm not trying to plug for her, and I hope she doesn't see this because she would hate the attention that this would bring, but I would say she's way up there, especially after I lost my mom, because even though like I admired a lot of qualities that my mom held, once she's gone, I mean, someone takes her place, and I would say that's probably Jennifer.
Wow. Who would you say, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give your younger self?
Don't start with a steakhouse. That was dumb. Don't put 60 items on your menu.
But was it though?
No.
Did you need that experience?
I learned so much.
That was part of your journey.
I learned so much. Yeah. And I wouldn't even want to tell you business owners how much. I would say I'm still paying the government off. That's how bad it was. I would say that saying God first, family second, work third, or school third, I would say never has that ever been so important. And I think my younger self forgot that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think probably my biggest sacrifice was my kids, in all honesty. And honestly, it went this way, where it should have went God first, family second, work third. My biggest mistake is I went work first and my family second and God third. And it failed. And I lost a lot of time with my kids. Yeah. And, I think the very first thing I would tell myself, and I would tell anybody, is get your priorities straight. If you want God to bless it, you better be blessing him. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is really powerful, how the order of your priorities, and I would sit and agree that it's part of your journey, the family steakhouse. But what's really cool is what you mentioned at the beginning of this interview. I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't. You just dove in head first and you did this thing, and you know what? You bet on yourself. You didn't have a clue what you were doing. You had people investing in you and pouring in you, and you were willing to bet on Monette. You were willing to bet on your community. You wanted to serve your personal mission of serving people. I think that is so powerful. And I think more entrepreneurs need to hear that, and they need to resonate with that story, that you were willing to do the thing.
And I heard this. If you can't make mistakes, you can't make anything. There's a video that floats around that will never get out, I hope. Okay. That is me and Casey, Joe. My son so happened to be videoing this in the corner because we decided to make chicken and rice. Okay, this is a good story, but it's quick. Chicken and rice. I don't know what I'm doing, ever. I just do it. It was bad. Something happened. And the pot at this point, it's coming out of the pot. The rice is expanding. It's a bad situation. Casey wants to Google things, how to fix. I'm like, what do you, like, no, you don't Google it. We just fix it, So in this video, it says, what are we supposed to do, Casey? Start over? No, we can't start over. Yeah. So I think at this point, you take what's thrown at you, right? Yep. And you build from it. And you know what? No one knew we messed that up. No one knew that was bad. you take your lemons and you make lemonade.
And what'd you do? You just poured some of the rice out into a new pot?
We're never going to talk about that, and we're never going to make chicken and rice again, ever, because it was a bad stitch. But yeah, we fixed it.
You did.
We made it edible. You're welcome.
Yeah.
No one has died yet.
No.
Okay. I don't even know what the question was. Squirrel.
You were telling us a good story about not knowing what you were doing, but you still just went for it.
Yeah.
You did it and you figured it out. And other entrepreneurs don't need to feel like they have it all figured out. They just need to go and to know that they have people behind them that can support
I've definitely learned more from my failures than my successes. I mean, what's the lesson in a success? Nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, you get pride, you get joy, you feel, but your lessons come. Your lessons come in the disasters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's when you learn the most.
Yeah, they do.
Chicken and
but
rice.
When you have a lot of family, a lot of support, a lot of people championing you, that's community.
That is community.
And being around, not having time for family, but making time for family, even if you don't have time to actually cook the meal and clean up the meal, swing it through Jami Lynns, grabbing a family-style dinner, taking it home to family, or friends, whatever, small catering events, large catering events.
I'm going to tell you something about our community also that is the biggest blessing of my business. People do, and I'm not asking you to start one, understand that. I saw Charity Rakoski. She's a teacher here in Monette. Mm-hmm. I didn't see it happen. People see who orders. I get it. Charity, I really don't know. But people will call, mm-hmm. or people will come by and they'll say, hey, I saw so-and-so ordered. I want to pay for their meal. Mm-hmm. Hey, I know that so-and-so had a baby. We're going to start a meal train. We've got this week. Can you do this week? Can you do this week? Hey, so-and-so passed away. Can you deliver meals to them this week? We see that every day at Jami Lynns. Now, I just get to be the middleman. Mm-hmm. I just get to be the guy who sees the blessing. And to be honest, I'm the one getting blessed too. Mm-hmm. But to see the way our community loves their community and the way that people appreciate everything. And I know that food is a very common denominator. Like, hey, you want to come over? And I'm always going to have like a cookie or something, like that's just comfort. Mm-hmm. And so it is that's one of the biggest blessings of my business is to see how other people want to bless other people. Mm-hmm. And I saw Charity Rakoski last night made a big Facebook that said, I know somebody bought my lunch yesterday from Jami Lynns. I know you're probably seeing this. Thank you. And I get to see that a lot.
That's really cool.
It's a really cool, actually.
Gives me chills. Mm-hmm. I want to end our interview with Jami Lynn here to maybe expand on her plans for expansion.
Well, bottom line is,
how are you going to grow your sphere of influence and impact even more people than more than 400 meals a day?
Okay, I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
Just know the truth. Know my limitations. Yeah. So one, to be good, don't get too big for your britches. Mm-hmm. Know what you can do. However, I know my parking lot stinks, and I know getting in there and getting out of there mm-hmm. is a struggle. Mm-hmm. Also, I have a catering business. Mm-hmm. I do weddings. I do things like that. My end goal, and I'm going to claim it, mm-hmm. honestly, I'm going to claim it in the name of Jesus, that I will own the other side of that building once they're ready to sell it. Mm-hmm. And then I want to have the entire park, I want it asphalted.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that it makes things easier. I also would like Monette to put a no turn on right at that stop sign because it's going to cause an accident. And right now, people don't even stop. They just come to a rolling stop and turn right. And then my people pull out and it's going to cause a wreck. So no right turn on red there would be great. Also, it's not a park. It's not a drive-through. So it's not a road. I think some people really like to take that as a road so they don't have to go to that stop sign.
Oh, yeah.
People of all types and all professions use it as a road. Mm-hmm. And exactly. Semi-trucks and stuff. So it tears up the gravel, mm-hmm. makes it really hard. So I'm hoping that we can asphalt that and make it an actual driveway so people won't use it as a road. And it makes it looks nice, and it makes our community look nicer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is really not necessarily to get any bigger. Every day I push myself.
Yeah.
Every day is a challenge.
Yeah.
Every day I do all I can do. because that's the thrill of my job.
Yeah.
But I would like to make it better for our community.
I don't know what meal it was.
If you say something dumb, I'm gonna pinch you. Okay, I'm sorry.
It was maybe it was the meatloaf. It was a really popular meal. Maybe it was a fried chicken. Maybe it was a steak of something.
Mississippi pot roast or meatloaf or cheddar loaves.
It was something, but I saw it posted on social media earlier that day, and I drove by that evening when people were picking up. I kid you not. What's that road? 13th Street?
It's a lot.
It was cars, 50, 60 cars all lined up.
Was it prime rib?
Probably was.
It was prime rib.
I think it was a steak.
So we do prime rib. Matter of fact, we are getting ready to do it.
So if you see Jami Lynn post prime rib, avoid 13th Street if you're going northbound, because it will.
Or jump in. Or just jump in line. Just jump in line. Yeah. So thank you for having me today.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Jami, for joining us here today with Community Building with Brett here at Co-work Collective, where our mission at Co-work Collective is to serve entrepreneurs and build community. Thank you, Jami.
Thank you.